just say, and thanks to, to Kevin and to Tracy for their kind words. I'm delighted to be involved in the stadium here. Obviously, being a proud Aero GAA man, went back to years, and I see some of my colleagues down here in front of me. I was only too pleased, to answer the call in terms of what might be done here, because we have a fantastic stadium. We have something that we can be really, really proud of. But I think when a project of this size happens, there are bound to be issues arise, and we have a number of issues, but I wouldn't want that to deflect from the job and the effort that has gone in to put the stadium here. We are working on those issues. I see some of my colleagues on the board down here, Frank Murphy of course, and I work on a daily basis, at this stage, besides Kevin and Tracy. I see Jermaine is here, and obviously John Mullins is here also. And I just want to say to people that a lot of people obviously were impacted by the pitch being out, and I'm a premium member as well, so I understand that only too well, and I understand people's frustrations, but John Mullins and Michelle will deal with the detail of that, and I wouldn't want people to think that we're not aware of the impact it is, but I think what other people have to say will definitely deal with that situation. In terms of the stadium itself, we obviously have some challenges in terms of parking here, the entrance, and we have significant progress made in relation to that. Of course, we have important land holding in Kilbarry that we're working on for the planning, and that's a very important part of what the stadium board were trying to achieve and the county board were trying to achieve. That's going well. It's taking time, as all these major projects do, and I would have to say this stadium was very much started in Cork, and from my point of view it's returning to Cork, and I think Cork has to face up to managing, and I think when the call comes to people like me and others to help, we responded. And I would have to say that I think the premium people here and the club people here should encourage other people, to respond to the actual cause. And when I say it's returning to Cork, what I'm really meaning is that we will become more directly involved in running and marketing the stadium, and that's something that we have to do. And I'm no stranger in saying that we have to think outside the box somewhat in terms of the challenge we have here. Obviously we've got some good concerts happening, but I also think we have to be open to other events, and some of those are non-GAA events, and I'm pleased to say that we've had a number of discussions this year with Munster Rugby, and I think that's something that could be accommodated here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, given the rule change that happened at Congress, and a lot of people in this city and county would welcome that. And I think from the point of view of the scale of what we have here, we just can't afford to have it idle an awful lot in a year. So I would put that out there as something that will happen, should happen and will happen, and something that we have got positive response up to now. The other big issue here is that we have a fantastic building that we hope to use more for conferences, and I see a number of business people here this evening who can help us with that. Now, this is our stadium, this is our place, and I would urge people who can help to actually reach out to any of us, and in the areas that you might be able to help. I think we'll have more conferences here. We are trying to finalise a new entrance and finalise some new parking that will greatly help the approach to the stadium and what people will feel from it when they see some of the changes that we've planned. Now, some of these changes, a stadium of this scale, and any development of this scale, there's always I suppose a bedding down period or some growing pains, call it what you like. It's impossible to create something like this without having those impacts. Obviously the stadium sits there in the Marina Park, and that brings its own challenges in terms of permeability and access, and the challenges that we have and the challenges that the City Council have. But I just want to assure people here that we are working on all fronts in relation to making this stadium better, if I can use that expression, but more marketable, more available. But we can't do it without help. And I would, in my few words, just say that in a way we're reaching out for any people who can help us in achieving those objectives. I have no doubt as we get more and more involved in direct running of the stadium in Cork, which was always the plan, and obviously Croke Park had been mentioned here by Tracy, have were a very important part in helping to complete the project here. But some of the issues that are there are now very much being dealt with by Cork, and I think Cork will come back to that central role in time. So, Chairman, I'm just have those few